And my curiosity is, why is it that Black women end up being the villains in everyone's story?
The only stress I've ever received about being mixed race is from Black women.
Really?
Or Black girls. When I was in school, I got called every name under the sun by Black girls.
Really?
But it's like, I don't know why y'all can't keep sacred the only group that's really supporting you. I saw them do like a live show and the entire audience was Black women. Like, all they had to do was stay loyal to the people paying them. But it's like, everybody does this. It's like they use Black people as their come up, and then they're trying to branch into another group, and they completely disregard the Black group or the Black women group. And then it's like, you'll see their collapse. Like, look at Daniel Caesar. Look at Childish Gambino.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's World. Hi y'all, welcome to Mayowa's World. My name is Mayowa, and on my platform I talk about anti-Blackness, textures, and features. And today we're going to be talking about anti-Blackness and podcast bros. So I don't know if y'all have seen, but there are these two guys on a podcast called James and Furad. And they have a very popular podcast based out of London. They got more popular by like reading tweets that had gone viral on the internet and doing responses to them. Recently, they're under fire because they did an interview, and in the interview, I'm gonna play it, but they were essentially saying that they think that Atlanta women are ugly.
In Atlanta, I've seen the least baddies so far. Oh, I'm not saying everyone's beautiful. I just told you Atlanta's clap. I never said everyone's beautiful. I just said I'm not seeing any baddies here.
This was the first red flag, because we all know that beauty was created in Atlanta women. Atlanta women are some of the most stunning, eclectic, unique girls to ever be blessed on this earth with us. Am I partial because I'm from here? Yes. But even if it wasn't about me, the girls, the people, the girlies that are here, even at the airport, is some of the finest people you'll ever see at the Atlanta airport. There's so many gorgeous people. So a lot of people knew that when they made this comment, it was very coded. If you say you don't like the women in Atlanta, what you really mean is you don't like Black women, because Atlanta is filled with Black women. It's kind of like, I always say Atlanta is like Lagos. Atlanta is the American Lagos. So if someone went to Lagos, Nigeria, like, oh, I think the girls are ugly, you don't like Black girls. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that's rude. And I feel like we need to have a cultural competency discussion. I'm gonna tell you something that I think is really simple, but people really just don't seem to know this. You should never go to any country and say that the women there are ugly. It's considered rude to do that pretty much anywhere in the world, especially if you are talking about the Black women there. Like, there is not a place I've been in this world where I haven't seen beautiful Black people. And that's because Black people are beautiful globally. I also say that it's honestly a curse to make fun of Black people. Like, as soon as you make fun of Black women, suddenly things in your life will be shifty-wifty. It will not make sense. It was like you can keep going in your career, but things will always be collapsing because you've offended the one group that's like divine. But they recently went on a podcast with Andrew Schulz, and they were laughing like toothless hyenas, just when he was talking about Black women. I'm also gonna put the clip.
What is the Black girlfriend effect? This
Oh,
is
you might not know
You
about
just
this.
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a Black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows the fuck up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this Black girl complaining about shit. That's why they gotta shave their
Nah,
hair.
bro. White guys with Black girlfriends,
They grow a
step,
beard
they step
because
their dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the out of.
I want to talk about how people laugh themselves into oppression. I want to talk about how you can yourself into being oppressed, and how like laughter is a form of validation, and laughter is a very sacred space to your heart, to your soul, to who you really are as a person. And so they took a situation talking about, what is it, the black wife effect, where it's like Black women often pour a lot into their partners, and their partners start to dress better, because we all know that Black women can nurse pretty much anything to life. Like, we all can see that Black women can be a nurse, can take care, right? But the goal isn't for us to always be taking care of people. But that's essentially what that trend was showing, is that Black women pour into their partners. And so for him to say, oh yeah, that's why they're losing their hair. My first question is, why was you on that podcast with Andrew Schulz? Because this is not his first time ever being out of pocket. This guy has stayed being out of pocket to Black women since forever. He stayed overstepping his boundaries. He stayed being very entitled. He is racist. Yeah, I'll say that. He's very racist. Like he's the kind of racist guy that has Black friends that validate it, and then he creates even more, like he uses these people to get more information, and then creates even more like developed forms of racism. So within this interview, Andrew Schulz also made fun of James for being mixed race. And he was also being disrespectful about different Nigerian ethnic groups to Fuhad. But even within all of the disrespect that they experienced on the podcast, even spiting their own intersections or their own backgrounds, I found a clip of James saying that the people who made his life the worst for him with getting bullied are Black women.
The only stress I've ever received about being mixed race is from Black women.
Really?
Or Black girls. Fam, when I was in school, I got called every name under the sun by Black girls.
Really?
Fam, every Black girl would call me Lighty. I don't even know if they knew my name.
Yeah.
But Lighty was the nicest of it.
Yeah.
No Black girl in uni ever called me James. Never. It was always Lighty.
And my curiosity is, why is it that Black women end up being the villains in everyone's story? I see how you let a white man treat you, but you are still very emotional and upset about what happened to you when you were in school by Black girls. And you don't even want to open a book to understand systematic oppression and understand that you being called Lighty, although it does not feel good, you are not being systematically oppressed for being mixed race or light skinned. You still hold on hurt and associate that hurt with Black women because it is very mainstream and acceptable to see Black women as bullies. And what gets me about the whole thing is y'all couldn't even hold on for your check. Black women are literally the people who are cutting your check the most and supporting y'all the most. But you wanted to branch into a white audience, and you couldn't even pretend to support Black women for even your own money's sake. And it reminds me of the interview with Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin when she was like, if you can perform for the white man, why can't you perform for me? I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but I think about that a lot. Like, they couldn't even perform to pretend to like Black women.
Truth matter. And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I
must.
treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum.
And at the base of it, I feel like they are getting more advanced with learning how to hide their misogyny. And the reason that people believed in them was because they were able to conceal their misogyny. If you saw earlier in the interview that they did in Atlanta, when they asked what their type was, they were like, bad.
What is y'all's type though?
Bad is the type.
Facts.
So what makes a girl bad?
It varies though. It matters how you own it. It's bad is bad is bad.
That's a PR answer.
A PR answer.
Bad B words is my type. But we all know that's coded because you're trying to say that because you know now that y'all can't openly say what your preferences was like y'all was doing in the 2010s when y'all would say, oh, I only want red bones, no Black girls, no da da da. You can't say that stuff anymore. I really feel like people don't take misogyny as a serious enough offense, especially misogyny towards Black women, because I feel like James and Fuhad really thought that they knew that Black women in the UK would be offended, but I think they were shocked that they also had offended Black American women. And I think that they literally asked to get certain parts of the podcast removed, but they didn't want to get that part where they were making fun of the Black women removed because they were so desensitized to it and didn't see it as a serious enough offense. People don't see the hatred towards Black women as a serious enough offense to divest from someone. So the soonest sign you see it, you need to run away. The soonest sign somebody laughs at misogyny, you need to run away. And I just feel like, especially like men are often so scared to ruin the vibe. Like, that's why you should always just be okay with being a vibe ruiner. Because if you know that you can always ruin the vibe, you're not gonna, it's gonna be easier for you to step up. And I'm just surprised that you would go on a podcast where somebody is already known for saying very out of pocket things. If anything, if I was to go on a podcast where dealing with somebody who can be really offensive, I'm gonna be on edge to know that like I gotta be more of a defender than I am going to be able, like I'm gonna be checking what they're saying. And I never understood how Andrew Schulz has like the clout that he does, and him being best friends with Charlemagne, it tracks. Because we all know how Charlemagne has treated black women, right? And during that podcast, that black woman thing was so offensive. But you see, even again, look at what he says about different ethnic groups in Nigeria. Can you imagine that this man is calling Hausa people lazy, and all you can say is that's how you feel? Like, he's humiliating you. And I don't know if it's like a humiliation kink or something, like, but it's like, this is someone who clearly, like, I think that Andrew can see that these people are uncomfortable, and he gets off on making people feel more uncomfortable. That's kind of Andrew's thing. He sees you uncomfortable and he like, let me see how I can push it even farther. I also just want to say that the people who are going to feel this the worst are going to be Black British people. It just shows you how normalized insulting Black women is in the UK. And I really wish that we could kind of come together and see the ways that we're united, which is often by like misogyny and anti-Blackness, and see how we are like really experiencing very similar things throughout the diaspora. Because I feel like that's kind of like where our power lies as Black folks, is seeing the ways our oppression is shared even when we're not in the same country. But it's like, I don't trust men with podcasts. And I'm not the first person to say it. I'm not the originator of saying that. We've been known that. But it's like, I don't know why y'all can't keep sacred the only group that's really supporting you. Like, their family, I saw them do like a live show and the entire audience was Black women. So I don't understand why they can't. Like, all they had to do was stay loyal to the people paying them. But it's like, everybody does this. It's like they use Black people as their come up, and then they're trying to branch into another group, and they completely disregard the Black group or the Black women group. And then it's like, you'll see their collapse. Like, look at Daniel Caesar. Look at Childish Gambino. That's going to be y'all. Give it, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think you can come back from that. I don't care about no apology. You can't apologize for laughing at that. I'm so sorry. No. Because you added to it. No. Let me know what y'all think, though. That really annoyed me. And I feel like you got to be careful with the things that you laugh at. You know what I mean? And even someone who does comedy, like, I'm very careful about the kind of stuff. Because I don't want people to, they say laughter is the entry to your soul. Yeah, I don't want that in my soul. So yeah, tell me what y'all think. If you made it to the end, tell me what you like about my look. I was trying a new style of makeup and I was very worried that I was gonna mess it up, but I think it actually came out kind of cute. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.